This is the aftermarket, the kicker. This is your stock speaker, okay? Now, I'm no speaker guru, but what it is this the size of the magnet back here. Okay, you can see this is puny. That's a little bigger than a quarter. This is probably a $50 size. The magnet is kind of what gives you the power. Also, the other thing is the quality of the material in here. When you see marine grade or not marine grade, generally it's this material in here. Cheaper speakers are paper. They can get wet, they'll tear. Also, when you blow a speaker, it's because you put too much power to it. And this, when the stereo's playing, this is actually moving up and down, okay? If you put too much power, you'll tear that paper, and then the speaker sounds like crap. So higher quality speakers have better material in here, and also the material is kind of like a plastic material, so it doesn't get bothered by the water. Now that doesn't mean you can put a pressure washer on it, but it's just for rain. So this is a stock speaker. This is the upgraded kicker speaker. Now just as a comparison, this is our speaker. This is an Alpine speaker. It's a 170 watt speaker. I'm not even sure if this even tells me what watt these are, these kickers. Most of them are around 50 watt. That's usually a pretty good upgraded speaker. Ours are 170, so it tells you the quality difference. Also, look at the magnet. You don't even realize, but this whole thing is the magnet. So when you compare the difference, that's why they're so much better. That's why they're so much power, have so much more power. If you go to a 6x9 or a bigger speaker, yeah, you'll get more bass, you'll get more power, but we are looking at keeping it simple for people. We're giving customers what they want. Most of our customers tell us they just want a good speaker, good sound, easy installation. One thing you see here, this little capacitor, this is called a bass blocker. What that does, and the high-grade speakers have that, what that does is that blocks the bass from coming in this part. This is your tweeter. This is the highs, the cymbals, the cracks of the cymbals. This is the highs, and the high mid-ranges come out of here. This part around here is the bass, or the lows and the mid-lows. That comes out of this part. What you don't want is you don't want the basses coming out of the tweeter, out of the highs. Then it gets distortion. This bass blocker is what stops that from happening. It will not let the lows go into the high part. So that's the difference. Again, high quality plastic material here to not have any problems with rain. Huge magnet, bass blocker. That's why our stereo system is far superior to anything else on the market. So that's just a little speaker explanation, and you can kind of see them side by side here on the differences. You know, stock, Victory Aftermarket, and then ours. That's why they're so much better sounding. So the first thing you got to do to put the speakers in, real easy, little screwdriver, pop your speaker grills out, just kind of pry them, and then just pull them out. They come right out. So what you want to do is you got 4 bolts in there that hold the speaker in. It also holds the speaker box. So just take those 4 bolts out. You can see this customer already has the kicker speakers in. Now we have the fairing off of this bike, the outer fairing. You don't have to do that. It's just we're doing other work on this bike, so you don't need to do that. Just take those screws out. This one up here is a little bit harder to get to because it's kind of buried in there. If you have just the Allen wrench and not a socket or not a T-handle like this, you're going to probably have some problems there because it's kind of hard to get in there with the Allen wrench. You need to have this T-handle type deal or else a socket on an extension. And again, these are kind of hard to get to. There we go. Okay, now that speaker, you want to kind of pull it and just kind of jiggle it and get it out. Now you're going to have some wires on the back, so be careful when you're pulling that for those wires. Just disconnect it. You just pull them. I don't know if you can see that. These wires here, you just pull them off. And they are clipped on pretty hard. So pull them off. And you'll see on the speaker you have a big terminal and a little terminal, so you really can't cross those up. Okay, so you're just going to take that speaker, set it aside. Take our speaker, and it's going to be the same thing. You're going to have the small and the big, and just put that back in. And just be careful, you know, you don't knock your wires off. But you can see how that fits right on there. Most of the other companies make you take the whole fairing off to change your speaker. You don't have to. You don't need any adapter rings. And stereos are one of those crazy things. Yes, if you put a bigger, higher power speaker in there, you will get more sound. You know, guys are putting 6x9s in here now. Crazy, but you have to do a lot of work to make them fit. When we asked our customers what they wanted better sound and easy. This is going to give you tremendously better sound. I mean, night and day better sound. And you can see, this is pretty easy. You don't have to go tear everything apart. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to leave those 2 screws out. I just have that in there. What I want to do is just turn the bike on and make sure the speaker comes on. That way I know that I did not knock the wires off when I put everything back on. So we got to get the volume up.
Black Friday sale.
Speaker works.
Buyers get 0% financing.
Okay, so that speaker works, so we know we did okay. So what we would do, we would come back and we would put the rest of the screws in. I'll show you just on the other side. I'll do it on the other side to show you the exact same thing. I'm just going to hook that in the corner. Just kind of pry it out a little bit. It's kind of sticking on this one. There. And once you get it popped out, it'll come right out. That one's kind of hard to get to. One thing, if you've ever heard me talk about an Allen wrench with a swivel, a ball end on it, that is actually the tool that would make this easier. I don't have one handy right now, but on the end of the Allen wrench, it's kind of a ball shape, and that is what would make this easier to get in there and get these screws out. And again, this is the hardest one right here, just because you can't quite get into it. It's a little bit tighter. Okay. Just kind of twist and finagle a little bit, and that speaker will kind of come out. Just watch you don't hit your handlebars and stuff, so you don't scratch anything up. Again, pull the connectors off the back. Okay. I'll get the other speaker. by the way, I don't know, maybe I didn't say on these Alpines, these are 170 watt speakers is what these are. So I'm not sure if I said that or not, but 170 watt is what these are. Connect them back up. If they seem a little loose like those do, you might have to pinch that terminal just a little bit to get them to stay on. Because sometimes if people have done these a couple times, they'll be a little looser from being pulled on and off so many times. And again, just kind of finagle that in there. Boy, it just didn't want to snap in there. These are marine grade. The material right here is like a plastic type material. It's not paper, so you don't really have to worry about them getting wet. Now that doesn't mean you take the pressure washer and the garden hose and blast it on the speaker, okay? But if you're in the rain, no problems. We already got that figured out for you with these speakers. This is where I needed that other wrench to get them in there better. I gotta get it started. What I've seen a lot of the competitors do is you have to take your fairing off, and then they give you an adapter ring, and you have to fit the adapter ring on the back here. You have to twist it a certain way, drill some holes, mount the adapter ring, then you can put the speaker on. Problem with that is you lose this box, and if you want to come around here, just for explanation's sake, I'll show you. This box back here is what keeps all your sound in. If you were to remove this box, your sound would be diminished by a ton. What this does is this keeps the air pressure correct. So when the speaker's, going with the beat, it has the air pressure in there. So when you remove this, all the sound, not all the sound, but most of the sound is coming this way. So the tighter you can get this, and even we sell Dynamat, even if you take Dynamat and put it around the cracks here, you will notice the sound change dramatically. Even with that, when you pop your fairing back on, you will notice the sound change dramatically just because of this gap right here. When the sound's going out, when the fairing's on, it keeps the sound going that way. This is a very simple explanation, but that's what happens. So when you're tuning your stereo, you want to make sure you pop your fairing back on. You don't have to bolt it on, but pop it back on so it covers this up. And I'll show you something called Dynamat. This is Dynamat. What this is, you can get it at like AutoZone, different places. It's a adhesive backing. Okay, it's almost like a rubbery material that's real sticky. What you can do is if you're really going for premium type sound, you would take this and cut a little strip. And I'll try to just do this for you real quick. I don't want to take a lot of time here, but just to show you, if we put something in there, this cuts with scissors. Very easy. It's sticky, but it's very easy to cut. You can actually just about tear the stuff, but if you were to take this and put this in there like that, and again, being it's sticky, you just form it right to what you want. And you kind of just cover that up. So now that sound has to go out. This stuff doesn't vibrate. This is what it's made for, is to control sound. You put that little strip in there and you build it all the way around. You put that all in there. You will absolutely 100% notice a difference in the quality of the sound. So that's just a little tip for you. So what we want to do, we want to turn the bike on again, make sure the other speaker's working. Okay, and it is. So that's it. Now we could turn this thing up crazy and let you hear it, but you're not going to be able to tell the quality of this through the video camera. It's just impossible. We'll bump it up what we can.
But she loves him, and he loves somebody else. You just can't win. And so it goes till the day you die. This thing.
I'm trying to show you the range that you can go up on the bass, and you can actually hear the bass changing. That's what I was just trying to show you there.
Love stinks.
So I don't know if you can see the number, but we just went up to 20. Most guys tell me they go up to about 15 and it distorts horrible. So we'll get it up to 20 and I'll fine tune it a little bit, and you can hear the bass, how it goes out of whack, and then we can bring it back. And the same with treble, but we'll just kind of put it up there. Again, this is just the radio. If you had an iPod or something hooked up, we have no antenna on this bike, and it's whatever song Jay Giles is playing right now. It's not the greatest song to try to get highs and lows and stuff, but it is what's on the radio.
Your heart falls, the love fly.
Helps if you hit the right button.
Love stinks. Love stinks.
Okay, so you can see we went up to 25. Still had crystal clear sound. You can tune it a little bit. Again, if this was your iPod, it would be night and day different, you know, on the quality of the sound. One thing we got, and something we sell that you might be interested in, is our speaker grills. Make a big difference. I'll show you just real quick how to pop these in. They just pop right in. But if you want something better, now you've got a really cool stereo, and you want something better than the stock speaker grills, these are made by Vic Baggers. We carry them on the website. There you go. That's how you install them. Really cool. It does not change the sound whatsoever.
The classic rock station, Y103.
Okay, so you can see how easy that is. So that's just the speakers option that we sell. We also carry everything else, but that's the speakers. So if you're interested in some really good sound that you can do yourself, very easy to do, and you can see what a huge difference that is, check us out, witchdoctors.com.